So for those of you who need a very simple, calm explanation, because you do not have the ability to receive the angry Spirit of God, who certainly is full of righteous indignation at all times these days because of man's treachery, I will give you a calm, more down-to-earth, quote-unquote, explanation. Not because I'm wrong in my other video before this, but because you have less testosterone, divine testosterone, we'll say, of righteous men, not just any black men, but the righteous sun order in your wombs when you were forming as a fetus and about to be made a baby and brought into this world. So yes, you need me to baby you, to treat you like a bitch, to be a soft-spoken kind of nerdy professor. So I'll spell it out for you. The two become one flesh. The transcendent being in the divine order and only in the divine order, which ends with me, comes, mates with the woman. Think about the woman as her vagina is like this. The man, figuratively and otherwise, flies into her, penetrates her, impregnates her, and the two become one as she continues to as she continues to submit to him. If she leaves, then she leaves the divine order. For this reason, no woman should ever divorce, but not when it comes to someone who is not in the divine order, only someone who is. You can divorce someone who's not in the divine order and beg the person in the divine order, preferably asking Pharaoh personally to allow you to marry this person. Okay? The angel can be said to carry his wife into heaven. The Pharaoh is the leader who conveys the Spirit to all men who seek to be like angels, and the angel marries his wife and carries her away. The two become one flesh in the body of Haru, the body of Ra. Something to this effect is a decent explanation. So, in order for one to know themselves, they need to know God. How can you know yourself if you don't have any idea about God and any idea about why you're here? You know, you're missing important information. So it leads you to know God, know that his most important trait is as a martial artist with righteous indignation that is focused, not just some angry guy in the paradigm, you know, in some kind of mainstream narrative that, you know, puts on his little cape like Superman, right? You know, soup or man, right? Mixing, alchemy, chemistry, pharmacology, you know, substances in the food and so on and so forth. You're, you know, either you're the chemical soup using performance-enhancing drugs and taking advantage of people who are intoxicated states of mind with toxic psychotropic and psychiatric pills and sugars and all kinds of nonsense, you know, or you're a man. Okay? So super is also another word that messes with our minds subconsciously and affects the subconscious processes of our brains, which are said to be determinants in our behavior, certainly in those who cannot focus and stay on the path. If you don't focus and stay on the path and you're unfocused, the subconscious processes of your brain will guide you on the devil's path, one of many. Okay, the angel transcends. The best years of my life being wasted are no small problem. Okay, they are not a small problem. It is a big problem. Okay, an old man cannot convey the Spirit of God. God doesn't really want us to be old. He's like, being old is like God telling you, why the hell are you still here? I know it's not because you claim to be doing my work. Look at the state of the world. Why are you still here? Why didn't you fight to the death, if for nothing else? Why have you been allowed to live to this point? How much complicity are you guilty of? Okay, you're a doll, out of the order, out of touch. Sick, senile old man like the governing class's elite, you know, who's who and so on. The top angel is like a leader. It goes back to lead, another subconscious process of the mind being affected by the wordplay, the magic spell, the spelling. Lead, leader, alchemy, heavy. Right, a big, strong brute saying, "Arr, Leonidas." Leonidas was out of the divine order. His name could be Ra the Great. It doesn't change the fact that he was out of order. Men fight over who breeds, and women are said to care about the children, and this is how they are allowed to spread their genes. Okay? So if they do not get past that, they haven't evolved. The martial arts, masculine, light temple order evolved until it ended with me because the entire world turned against it. For whose benefit? Obviously Satan. Their own books say Satan is the god of this world. None of you doubt your governments are corrupt. Obviously you're in the wrong. Okay, and obviously when you look at their principles, for the life of you, none of you can figure out a reason why we're in the wrong, because you are. So women care about, okay, this is evolutionary trait. Okay, look at abortion, right? So they're willing to kill their kids, and they're breeding in the wrong direction. So not only did they not evolve spiritually and morally and righteously past securing their children, okay, but they went away from it. They're willing to kill them for demonic freedom, satanic liberation, and so on. Absolutely repugnant. Okay, so they're breeding in the wrong direction, and as a result, they're too shallow to perceive these things. I mean, when you're not focused, you're not going to perceive who an angelic kind of person is. You're going to be unfocused. My dude to do, oh, that shiny thing, oh, shiny gold. Oh, I like this pen. I'm a dumb bitch. Kind of like in the Labyrinth, right? You like Mr. Horsey, don't you? Yes, Mr. Horsey, Oh, you like Bearsting Bear. Oh, you like this ring, huh? Shiny ring, right? She's stuck in the mental psychological construct in the matrix, focusing on shiny things. Not willing to sacrifice her children for God, and the more she starts to value anything, including her children, which are ill-gotten gains, mentally ill state of mind, ill-gotten gains, demonic abominations, the more she's separating herself from God. She let her children, that some hell-spawned coward impregnated her with, come between her and God. It's not respectable. You know, obviously committing seppuku when the enemy army is around isn't respectable. And it goes back to the irrefutable fact that over 80% of Americans come from a white kind of patriarchal bloodline. Whether it's the white Hispanic and the Spanish explorers, it is the Filipino and the Spanish colonists, it is it is some Africans, it is African Americans to a large extent. You know, they were raped, and then when the smoke cleared, all the martial artists were dead. The overseer, the house nigga with white in his blood, were in charge. So we're looking at 90% or so of Americans come from a white patriarchal line, and by the year 2030, it's said to have about 60% obesity rate as a result. And when we look at Neanderthals, we look at the white body structure. Are any of you confused about why that is? Okay, so I'll end it there. Remember, angel, no woman should have the right to reject me. She should be ostracized in a righteous society. If she is, she isn't, because America is satanic.